I love Plants vs. Zombies. Whether it's the original 2009 release or the Garden Warfare games, this franchise holds a special place in my heart. So I think I speak for everyone when I say that it's been a pretty rough few years. The shooter games basically died out with Battle for Neighborville, and the strategy games are going through their own thing with the many launches of PvZ3. So imagine my surprise when a while back we got heavy rumors and leaks for a game called PvZ Reloaded, and it turns out that was kinda right. It has a different name, but this is in fact a remaster of the original PvZ game with a few new features and modes. It was announced during the Nintendo Partner Showcase, which I was going to do a video on, but there isn't really enough to fill a whole video about it. But I do have a lot to talk about with this game. I've got some mixed opinions on this, so let's talk about Plants vs. Zombies Replanted. First, the trailer. Okay, I really like this trailer. The animation and humor just remind me of the old PvZ trailers, like the launch trailer for PvZ 2. But this trailer does have a major issue. This game features some new content not in the original game that we'll talk about in just a bit, but none of those features are shown here. Instead, the trailer focuses on co-op and versus multiplayer modes, which were already in the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions of the game. I've seen so many people online falsely claim that this game is just a port of the console version to modern platforms, and honestly, I don't blame them for thinking that because I thought that originally until the Steam page was released. Even the Steam page only barely touches on the new stuff in this version of the game. I really hope they put out a second trailer before this game launches in October. One of the first things that was found out about Replanted was that the original developers of PvZ had no idea this remaster was in production. That really sucks, especially because the artist for the original game said that he would be happy to have come back to redo the artwork. This also led some to believe that the art for this game was AI upscaled. There's nothing really to prove that this is the case yet, except for some weird clipping on the repeaters in the trailer, and even that could have just been a misaligned sprite. This is a note afterwards. There are also some other weird graphical things with this game, but they also don't seem like AI upscaled things. They just seem like really bad looking graphics. So that just kind of sucks. I'm not saying it's definitely not AI, it's just there isn't much proving it is at the moment. But it does look a little off. This remaster is using the console version of the game as a base, which means you'll get that game's multiplayer and widescreen. I'm a big fan of this, finally being able to experience this version of the game on PC. You could get the console version on PC before through an emulator, but you had to use the controller setup, and let me just say that I really don't like those controls for PvZ and am much happier using a mouse. With that being said, it's a real shame that this seems to be local multiplayer only with no online. There's a chance that they could add an online feature later on, but I wouldn't bet on it. But enough about the old stuff. What about the new stuff? Starting with Cloudy Day, a brand new game mode where sun is limited. I really don't know what this mode is. Like, is the only difference just less sun and therefore this is just an easier version of the night levels, or is this a full-blown separate thing? I've heard rumors that this is a roguelike mode, but the store page doesn't really say much about that. This is why I hope they have a second trailer, to hopefully clear some of this up. The other new mode is RIP, which is a hard mode that features permadeath. You die once, it's back to the start. I don't know if that's the only difference with hardcore mode, because like I said, the store page doesn't give much info. A new concept art gallery is also being added with pre-sketches and game history that hasn't been shown before. That's actually really cool. I always like learning more about my favorite games, and this seems like it'll be a nice thing for hardcore PvZ fans. Bonus levels are also listed as a new feature, but just like the others, we really know nothing about it. As a pre-order bonus, you'll get an 8-bit skin for your pea shooter. This got me thinking about something. The Steam page says, quote, "Unlock visual options through the Tree of Wisdom, updated with convenient on-off toggles." I originally thought that was talking about the cheat codes from the original, typing mustache in future to give the zombies new looks. But now, knowing about this pre-order bonus, I wonder if the Tree of Wisdom will be a way to unlock costumes for your plants. And if that is the case, will you have to pay microtransactions to do that? I mean, I don't think that's what they're gonna do, but I wouldn't put it past them. Also, let's talk about the price point. $20 is a price that will ultimately prove to be worth it or not, depending on how in-depth these other modes are. And to be fair, the original PvZ was about $20 back when it first released. It only got marked down later on with the Game of the Year edition. Currently, that version of the game sits at $5, so this game being $15 extra is interesting considering you get nice quality of life features and content from other versions of the game, as well as brand new modes and features exclusive to it. Personally, this game looks way better when viewing it as a kind of deluxe version of the game rather than a remake or remaster. Like, technically it's a remaster, but it feels more like a deluxe edition, you know? That being said, they could always find a way to mess it up. In summary, I really want to be excited for PvZ Replanted. It seems like it could be the ultimate version of the game, but I'm holding out on getting hyped up until I find out more about it. I think this remaster is a great way to get this obviously less experienced dev team at PopCap more familiar with what made the first PvZ so special, and hopefully lead to a brighter future for this franchise. But I guess we'll know if that's the case come October. That's all I got for now. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and hit that bell icon to be notified for whenever I make a new video. I should be getting back into reviews with the Midnight Walk, so if you're interested in that or interested in supporting the channel more, then turn on notifications and check out my other videos. Okay, that's it. Bye.